Hello everybody and welcome to your final science lesson for this week. We're going to be continuing the topic of animals and finishing off today with today's lesson. So let's share our screen and have a look at what we'll be doing today. So we've been looking at different types of animal diets. Remember, we looked at herbivores, carnivores and omnivores. So our objective today is how do brilliant scientists compare animal diets? Okay, so how do we compare what these different types of animals are and how do we compare what they eat? So we're going to have a bit of a warm up. We're going to play a game called What Animal Am I? And I would like you to try and guess the animal that's going to appear on the screen in a minute and then tell me whether it's a herbivore, a carnivore or an omnivore. And then we're going to have an activity. We're going to sort some animals into groups based on what they eat. And then you're going to do an exercise as your task. You're going to do something creative by putting animals into groups, but we'll talk a bit more about that later. And then to finish off, we're going to watch another David Attenborough video. So we're going to go back to what we learned at the start of the week, which was a really long time ago now, I bet. We're going to finish off with David Attenborough again. So what do you need for this lesson? Well, the same as what you've needed all week. You're going to need a pencil and you might want some colouring pencils to make your drawings a little bit prettier, but that's okay if you don't have any. And then you're going to need your topic book or your home learning book, depending on whether you're at school or home, or just a piece of paper is fine. And you're going to need your science brain. So I hope you haven't taken it off because we've been using it all week. So let's have a recap because it's been a really busy week in science. So we have been looking at different animal diets. We have looked at what animals eat and the groups they fit into: carnivores, herbivores and omnivores. Yesterday we focused on omnivores. Can you remember what we said omnivores eat? You remember? It's a trick question because omnivores eat basically everything. They can get their food from both meat and plants. Can you remember? So let's watch this short video just to recap everything we've been doing. And as we said all of this week, if you would prefer to watch this video separately in your own time, then please do. Okay. Let's make sure the sound's on first.
What types of foods do animals eat? Animals need to eat so they can stay alive because food is the main source of energy for all animals. Different animals eat different types of food. We can group animals based on the types of food they like to eat. For instance, there are some animals like rabbits, deer or horses that only eat plants. These animals are called herbivores. Herbivores. Other animals, such as otters, the tawny owl and the Scottish wildcat, only eat meat. These animals are called carnivores. Carnivores. There are some animals that eat both meat and plants. These are called omnivores. Omnivores. Foxes, hedgehogs and badgers are all omnivores. As you can see, even though there are lots of animals in the animal kingdom, we can put them into 3 different groups based on what they eat. Herbivores eat plants, carnivores eat meat, and omnivores eat plants and meat. Simple.
Okay, so if you can remember, we watched that video the other day, but I thought it would be good to include it again because it's a really simple way of just showing us what a herbivore, a carnivore, and an omnivore is. Okay, so we've had lots of recapping there, and I'm sure you can all remember them really well. So let's move on then. We're now going to look at some different animals, but pictures are a little bit different. So these pictures are zoomed in, okay? So they're zoomed in pictures of different animals. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom out on the screen so the animal will gradually become a bit clearer. And what I would like you to do, if you're at school, I would like this to be really interactive. So as a class, I want you to be calling out what you think it is, or you might want to put your hand up and then discuss as a class. So the teachers or the adults that are in the classroom might want to pause the video and get some ideas. It's entirely up to you. If you're at home, why not play along with an adult? Or if you're on your own, just shout at the screen what you think it might be. I've got a sneaky feeling you might change your mind. Okay, let's go. What animal is this? What do you think that is? Can you see all these bumpy bits? Can you see there's some moisture there? What do you think it is? Zoom out a bit. Oh, that might be looking a bit clearer now. What is it? Oh, some of you might be able to guess what it is now. Can you see these things here sticking out? But what is this up here? There we are. That looks like eyes. What does this look like? Looks like a shell. What animal is this? That's right, it's a snail. Well done if you got that right. But what do snails eat? So snails are herbivores. They eat plants or algae. Okay, so snails do not eat meat. So I'm going to show you another picture of an animal, and what I want you to do is, whilst you're trying to think of what the animal is, I want you to have a think about what the animal eats and what group it might fit into. Okay, next one coming up. Oh, what is this? What do you think it is? Have a look at these bits again. It's got bumpy bits like before. It's got little wet bits there as well. What do you think it might be? Is it something that lives in the sea? In that case, what does it eat? Let's zoom out a bit more. Oh, what is that? Did that surprise you? Or do you still think it's the same animal as what you thought? What do we reckon? Let's zoom out a bit more. Oh, this is really surprising. What are these bits here? What are those bits? Is this something in the sea? It could be. It could be an animal that lives in the sea. Maybe it's a bird. Maybe it's a bird's wing. Zoomed in really closely. Let's zoom out one more time. Oh, do we still think it's something under the sea? Or do we think it's another kind of animal? Well, that was a surprise. So we zoomed in here, but we were looking at a tongue. But what were we looking at a tongue of? Can you see the teeth up here and the fur here? What are these called? They're whiskers. What animal do you know that has whiskers? And what does that animal eat? Is it a herbivore? Is it a carnivore? Or it might be an omnivore. Well done. It's a cat. It's actually a cat, but what do cats eat? So it might surprise you to know that cats are carnivores. So remember we talked about dogs before, and we said that dogs are omnivores because they can eat both meat and plants. Well, cats are actually carnivores. Maybe you own a cat. Maybe you know someone that owns a cat. What do you feed it? Do you feed it fish or meat? So carnivores are meat eaters, and that's what cats are. They eat meat. So well done. Remember, animals can be sorted into 3 groups of diets. Carnivore, like our cat. Herbivore, like our snail. And omnivore. Okay, so this should be really clear for you now because we've gone over it lots. So in that case, now we're going to do another activity. We're going to have a go at sorting these animals into groups. Okay, so again, you might want to call out your answer. You might want to pause the video and have a discussion as a group, or if you're on your own at home, you might want to have a think or talk to an adult about your ideas. So all I would like you to do is tell me what category these animals go into. So a horse is a herbivore. Okay, so let's go back to our screen. Can you see any other animals that you think might be a herbivore? Is our snake a herbivore? Is the bear a herbivore? Is our cow a herbivore? Let's have a look. So we've got our horse. We've got a rabbit, a tortoise, a cow, and that's that blue algae we looked at yesterday, that fish. Okay, so let's go back to our slide. Let's see if we can spot any carnivores. So these are animals that only eat meat. Is our lion a carnivore? What about our goldfish? A carnivore? Does it eat meat? Does it eat other fish? Does it eat fish eggs? Or maybe it eats both. Maybe it's an omnivore. Let's find out. So we've got our herbivores. There's our lion. So remember, our lion is a carnivore, a meat eater. We've got our snake. Our snake eats small animals. Oh, there's our shark. Do you remember we did sharks at the start of the week? And there is our bat. So that means a bear, humans, a goldfish are omnivores. So well done if you got some of those right whilst we were playing. So your task today. We have looked at carnivores, herbivores and omnivores. But I would like you today to compare these animals based on what they eat. So we've looked at them all separately throughout the week. So remember we did our drawings on carnivores at the start of the week, then we did herbivores, and yesterday we did omnivores, those animals that eat both. Well, today I would like you to compare them all together. So you need your topic books with some worksheets in, or your home learning books. So you might even want to grab some colouring pencils if you have any. Okay, so there's some of our animals there that we've been looking at. Right, if you are in school, you have a worksheet that looks like this, and it's called a Venn diagram. So it's asking you to compare these animals and put them into the right part of your diagram. So here I have done this for you. So we've got a cheetah in our carnivore category, and we know it's a carnivore because it says I eat zebras, hares and birds. we've got a dog in our omnivore category because our dog eats food that has meat and plants in it. And we've got a herbivore. We've got our horse in there. Okay, so at school, you have this sheet ready-made for you, and some of you might have these pictures cut up for you to place in the right section. Some of you might want to draw your own animals in the Venn diagram, as long as you can tell me what to eat and why you've put it in that section. If you're at home, you could draw a Venn diagram like the one on the other slide, or you might find it easier to just use your home learning book and write carnivore, omnivore, and herbivore in the book with some pictures underneath of the animals that go in each group. So you might want to draw a cheetah under the carnivore heading, you might want to draw a dog under your omnivore heading, and you might want to draw a herbivore. You might want to draw a horse under that. Okay? And you can tell me why you've put it there. So let's be a bit more specific. So some of you might want to sort the pictures that you've got cut up if you're at school into the right Venn diagram. And if you're at home, you might want to make a table like we just looked at with some animals that you want to draw under the right heading. Okay? Most of you might want to draw some animals in the Venn diagram, making sure they're in the right category. Is a horse a herbivore or a carnivore? Okay, so we've just talked about it being a herbivore. You might want to put some keywords as well, telling me what it eats, so that when you're comparing them, you can see why they're in different groups. If you're at home and you'd like to do the Amber challenge, why not draw your own Venn diagram in your home learning book, and you can go back on this video and pause it to look at the one that was on the screen, so you can copy that. Okay, and if you fancy challenging yourself, you can draw some pictures in the Venn diagram and write some facts underneath saying what they eat. So you could draw a shark, like we talked about before, in the carnivore category, and you could say a shark lives in the ocean and eats fish. Okay, and you might put a cow in your herbivore category, and you might say that a cow eats grass. And then you can see on your Venn diagram why these animals are different to each other based on what they eat. Okay, so again, this activity is entirely up to you what you do. If you want to challenge yourself, great. But if not, if you want to draw some animals and just put them under the right heading, that's absolutely fine too. As long as you can tell us what a carnivore is, what a herbivore is, and what an omnivore is. So have a really good go. And don't forget to take a picture of your work if you're at home and send it to your teacher, because this is our final science lesson this week. And it would be amazing to see your Venn diagrams or your tables to show us everything that you've learned over the course of this week and about all the different things animals can eat. Okay, so that activity should take you about 20 minutes again. Or it might take you a bit longer if you're sorting the animals into different groups. But if you're at home, you can spend as long as you like on it. And finally, we're just going to finish off this video before you get on with your topic work in your books. We're going to watch this video of David Attenborough talking to Prince George and Prince Charlotte about their favourite animals. Some of you might have already seen this video, but I think it's lovely and it'd be a really nice way to finish our lesson today. Okay, so I'm just going to share my screen again. Let's come out of our other video and start this one.
Hello, David Attenborough. What animal do you think will become extinct next?
Well, let's hope there won't be any. because there are lots of things we can do when animals are reduced to and danger of extinction. We can protect them. About 40 years ago, I was with some mountain gorillas in central Africa. Mountain gorillas were then very, very rare. There's only 250 of them left. And we showed pictures of them on television around the world, and people thought how terrible it would be if these became extinct. So they subscribed lots of money and lots of people came to help, and now there are over 1,000 of them. So you can save an animal if you want to, and you put your mind to it. People around the world are doing that because animals are so precious. So let's hope there won't be any more that go extinct.
Hello, David Attenborough. I like spiders. Do you like spiders too?
I love spiders. I'm so glad you like them. I think they're wonderful things. Why is it that people are so frightened of them? I think it's because they've actually got 8 legs, which are much more than us. And if you've got 8 legs, you can move in any direction. So you'll never be quite sure which way that spider's going to go. Is it going this way or that way? So people don't like them, and they don't like them hairy legs either. But spiders are so clever. Have you ever watched one trying to build its web? That is extraordinary. How does it make this sort of circular web like that with attached to trees on either side or bits of vegetation? How do they do it? Try and watch and see how they do it. It's marvellous.
What animal do you like?
I think I like monkeys best because they're such fun. They can jump all over the place, and they can they don't bite. At least, well, some do, but we're a bit careful they don't bite. And they're so funny, and I like them a lot. Mind you, you can't have monkeys sitting around the home because that's not where they live. They live out in the forest. So what can you have at home that you like? Well, which would you choose, a puppy or a kitten? It's a very difficult question. I think I'd go for a puppy.
Okay, so that's a really lovely video there of Sir David Attenborough talking about his favourite animals. Do you have a favourite animal? What's yours? I like dolphins, and I'm with Sir David Attenborough. I like dogs. I like puppies. Okay, so what's your favourite animal? I hope you've really enjoyed our animal topic in science this week, and I've really loved teaching it to you, even if it is virtually. I hope you've enjoyed it at school or at home, wherever you are, and have a lovely weekend. And I hope to see you all really soon, and I can't wait to see all your beautiful work from the rest of this lesson. And just remember, animals need to be protected. Okay, thank you, bye.